Okay class, this is practice paper 6 and this is going to continue to help you revise for your assessments. It's a mixture of the two calculator papers. Right, question 1 should be your banker. Increase by 8% each year and it's exactly 3 years. Give your answer to the nearest pound. That's all important information. So we have 8%, 100% plus 8% equals 108%. So as a decimal, that's 1.08. It's for 3 years, so we just need to do 1,200 times 1.08 to the power of 3. Do that on your calculator. So 1.08 to the power of 3. Make sure your answer makes sense as well. And to the nearest pound, that's 1512. Easily done. A good start for your first 3 marks. Question 2. Speed, distance, time question. So speed, distance and time. He drove at this speed. And Genevieve drove from Toulouse to Montpellier along the same route as Pedro. The journey took her 3 hours. Work out her average speed. Right. So can you see you have time here and you have speed here. So we can find out the distance. So distance equals speed times time. Now the time needs to be in hours, so we need to convert 42 to hours. So we could, 42 minutes over 60 would be converting that to an hour, but we have got the 2, so you can multiply it by that, that would work. So the distance equals 90 times, right, so be careful here. Your calculator could make a mistake if you don't type this in the calculator properly. So I'm going to show you this. Can you see if I press 2, and some people might do it like this, and use this shift, this mixed number button, because I've seen students do it a different way and it will mess up the answer. So the distance is 243 kilometers. We've got that distance. We want Janine's average speed. So speed equals distance divided by time. We know the distance between those two distances now. We know our time is 3 hours, so our speed equals 243 divided by 3. That's going to be 81. That's 81 here. Easy 4 marks right there. Okay, so this is just AO2 skills here. Alex makes 80 cakes. These are the ratio cakes. You need to split this up. So he sells all the chocolate cakes, 3/4 of the lemon cakes and 7/8 of the fruit cakes. And this is the profit he makes. So you need to show lots of method here. So first step is, let's add these together. 3 add 2 add 5 equals 10. So there's 10 parts. 80 divided by 10 equals 8. So we can multiply all these by 8. So you're going to get 24, 16 and 40. Add those together. That is 80. So he's got 24 chocolate cakes, 16 lemon and 40 fruit cakes. So he sells all the chocolate cakes. So we've got to do 24 times 20 for the profit. Not 20. 20, let's keep it in pounds, times £2. Sells all the chocolate cakes. Lemon cakes, 3/4 of 16. So we could just do 3/4 times 16 times 1.70. and 7/8 of the fruit cake, so that's 40, so 7/8 times 40 times 2.4. Work out all those answers on the calculator. And so just use a calculator to do this. Times 40 times 2.4. That's all our working out marks, method marks, equals 84. That is the total profit. So we just need to add those figures together. £152.40. Right, so do show your full lines of working out. Not worth losing marks there. Question 4. Have a read of that. That is percentage increase. So percentage increase is the new amount minus the old amount or original amount divided by the original amount. That should make sense because you're finding the number it's increased by. So that's 8265 minus 7500 equals 765 divided by 7500 and times by 100 to turn it into a percentage. But you might know that's 10.2% already, and that is 10.2%. That's all you're working out you need really. But obviously show the numbers that you're using. Okay, question 5 now. Platinum nuggets. Okay, so it's density, mass, volume. That's David married Victoria. So we need to find the mass of a nugget. We want to find a mass which equals D times V, right? But we need to find the volume of the cylinder, which is pi r squared h equals the volume. So V equals pi times 2.5 squared times 15. $294.524. 294.524 centimeters cubed. That should be enough, 3 decimal places. So the mass. Right, be careful here. This is in grams and that is kilograms. So that metric conversion, double check that. So we can just convert that at the end. So the mass is going to equal our answer, 29.45. Oh, not 29.4. 294.524 times the density 21.5, Now I can just use that last answer times 21.5. Let's just round it up. That's 6332.27. So that's in grams, right? Now let's get this straight. 1000 grams equals 1 kilogram. So if you're going from kilograms to grams, you can see you're timesing by 1000. If you're going from here to here, you have to divide by 1000. Students do get mixed up by that. So we're going to divide that by 1000. And you should know that is 6.33227 kilograms. Now he has to carry 5, so we can just do 6.33 times 5 now, which we know is greater than 30. Oh, forgot to divide by 1000 there from before. So that's 31.66. But let's just use my numbers I've been using. 6.33 times 5. 31.65. That's 31.65. Do not forget the decimal. And how could you round it up? No, because 31.65 is greater than 30. As long as you've got the correct figures, that's fine, and that will get you your full 5 marks. So that's all easily doable. Question 6. 2 boxes of strawberry, box A and box B. This has 15 as a mean weight of 24. That's got 25 and 18. Now, before I start doing the question, I know that I need to multiply these together to get the total weight of box A. And this one is going to be 25 times 18 to get the total weight of box B. $360 $450. Now I know to do this because it does say here, she puts all 40 strawberries in the bowl, work out the mean weight of the 40 strawberries. So we add these two weights together. Good to have some lines of working out. That's 810. 810 divided by 40. And these numbers, you can work them out mentally. So this could appear on a non-calc. That's 20.25. And that is easily doable. That's easy 3 marks in your pocket again. Right, question 7. Lots of right angle triangles. Work out the length of E to F. Congruent means they're exactly the same. Right angle is a clue. That's a straight line. A to F equals 80. So let's use this. We've got 15 here and 35 here. That is the hypotenuse we're trying to find. Now can you see we've got the hypotenuse adjacent? That's the opposite. We do not need the opposite, so cross that out, because that will start making you using the wrong trig function. So I know that's the CAS, so that means cos 35 is going to equal A over H. Now I want to find H, so if you cover the H, you know H equals A over C, A over cos 35. So H equals A divided by cos 35, which is 15 divided by cos 35. You have to use your calculator for this. So 15 divided by cos 35, that's 18.31. To three significant figures, so I'm just, yeah, 18.31 should be fine. H equals 18.31 to 2 decimal places, because that's going to be three significant figures, 18.3, so that should round correctly. So how many have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, right? So we just need to do 80 minus 18.31 times 4 to find the length of EF. Now, just because I want to be super accurate, I can still use a number in my calculator. So I'm going to times that by 4. And then I'm going to do 80 minus my last answer. That's going to give me 6.75. That's the three significant figures, so it's 6.75 centimetres for 5 marks. Question 8 now. The modal class interval. Well, I told you there's 60 students. So what's 60 divided by 2? The median number is the 30th student. So the 30th student appears, there's 4 here, that's 14 up to here, 29 up to here, so the 30th student appears in this box. So the class interval, this is the class interval, you would write that. That's an easy mark to gain. Work out the estimate for the mean length of time taken by these 60 students to travel to school on Monday. Give your answer correct to 1 decimal place. So frequency is 4, you take the midpoint here, so you'll do 4 times 5, 10 times 15, 15 times 25, 35, oh, have I lined it up right? 15 times 10 is, yeah, that's for this one, this is for that one, 15 times 25 is this one, 35 times 25, and 45 times 6 equals, and this is your working out, you should write this working out down. So we're going to get 20 plus 150 plus 15 times 25, 375, $875, and 6 times 45 is 240 at 30, That's 270. Okay, and then we divide by the total amount of people, which I believe was 60. That was 1690. 28. Does that time make sense in here? Yeah, 28 point. It's just a 1 decimal place, so be careful. Press the SD. That's 28.2. That's a 1 decimal point. And that will get you your 4 marks, nice and easy. Find the gradient. So gradient is y equals mx plus c. Is this in the form y equals mx plus c? No, so we rearrange it. So we minus 5x on both sides to get 2y equals 7 minus 5x. Now that's not y here, so we divide both sides by 2 to get y equals 3.5 minus 2.5x. So if they ask you the y-intercept would equal 3.5, and the gradient is minus 2.5. M, which we use for the gradient, minus 2.5, so m equals minus 2.5. Nice easy marks there as well. Question 10. Have a read. Still framework, right angle triangle. So we can use Pythagoras because there's no angle. Okay, so we just do, we know that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. C squared is the longest side, so we just do 4.3 squared add 6.4 squared is going to equal c squared, and we're going to square root at the end. Square root that answer, 7.71. Right, so we just have to add up. This is the framework, so we add up all those numbers. Plus 6.4 plus 4.3, which is the perimeter of the shape. That's 18.41. So let's just write 4.3 add 6.4 add 7.71, that equals 18.41. That's enough because the steel can only be bought in a length that is in whole of meters, so you have to buy 19 meters. So you times that by 22. 19 times 22, $418. That is a nice few marks there. Just requires reading the question carefully. Okay, so there's a square table. Pressure equals force divided by area. Work out the force exerted by the box on the table. You've got the pressure here, lengths are in meters, but we need to find the area of the table. So that's one line of working out. 1.5 times 1.5. equals 2.25 meters squared. That's the area. We rearrange this formula, so P equals FA, F over A. So A times P equals force. So we just need to do 2.25 times 34.8. Right, we're going to get close to our grade 6 already here, right here. 2.25 times 34.8, 78.3 newtons. 78.3. Now let's work out how many marks up to question 11. So I believe that's 43 marks up to here already. So that's literally almost your grade 7 achieved. So you can see it's very doable. So I reckon we should go for grade 8. Alexa by Amazon has 5 cards. Each card has a number on it. The table gives information about the numbers on the 5 cards.
Podcast and video streaming service launched on the 7th of October 2000.
Right, that's what happens when I say Alexa, when I've got Alexa machine in my house. Okay, use the information in the table to complete each card by writing its number on it. The total is 45. The median is 8. The mode is 5. The range is 10. So we can start by writing that's got to be an 8. Right, because that's the median. Now let's use our thinking skills. The mode is 5. Now if the mode is 5, it's got to have more than one 5, okay? So one of these has got to be a 5. So just assume if I put a 5 here, well, a 5 can't go here because this is written in order, right? So the 5 has to be here. There has to be 2 5s. Now we've got the range of 10. That's got to be 15. 10 minus 15 is 5. Now we need a total as 45. Well, that's 10, 18, 33. So 45 minus 33 equals 12. That fits. That answer is 12. That question is done. Right, this should be bank marks. Work out the normal price, which is the same as original. Remember, I've shown you 2 ways, but I'm just going to say 100% minus 30% is going to be 70%, right? So that's 0.7 times what I call, I'm just going to use a question mark, shouldn't use the letter X, equals 31.50 now, right? 70% of something. So let's call that a T for t-shirt. So what do you need to do here? Divide by 0.7. Divide by 0.7. That's your working out. Use your calculator. See if it makes sense. That's 45 euros. Can you double check or go back? 45 times 0.7, times, because it's 30% discount, is 13.5, and 45 minus 13.5 is 31.5, so that is correct. Easy peasy. Okay. We've sat 11 tests. Each test was marked out of 60. Here are these test results. Find the interquartile range of these test results. Show you're working clearly. Okay, step 1. We know IQR equals upper quartile minus lower quartile. Step 1, what's wrong with this? Numbers aren't in order, so we need to write the numbers in order. 35, 37, do be careful with this. Get one number wrong and you'll mess up your answer. Right, 38, 39, 41, 42, 43, 45, 47, 47. 11 tests, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I've missed a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I missed out 44, haven't I? So this is what I mean. Easy to miss. So do that carefully. That would have cost me some unnecessary mark loss. Okay. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see 42 is the median. Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers on either side. So, in the middle of that, 38 must be the lower quartile, and 45 is the upper quartile, so what do we do here? 45 minus 38 equals 7. Another 3 marks in your pocket. Right, Sandeep also sat some tests in May 2020. Each test was marked out of 60. His median test results was 42. The interquartile range was 12. In which month were his results more consistent? Right, so his median here was 38. And his median in May, but it's got to be January because it's got a lower IQR. Seven versus 12, right? That's an easy one mark. Question 15. What is this? Is it circle theorems or? Let's have a think. Work out the size of angle ABC. Okay, so it is a type of circle theorem. Applied circle theorem, no problem. So this is a sector here. That area is 100. And this is the angle we need to find. So this is actually easily doable. Let's form our equation. So the area of the sector, or the area of a circle at first, is pi r squared, correct? And it's going to be the angle AOC over 360. And that equals 100. Now we know R is 12, so let's have 144, and I'm going to call AOC X for now to make it easier. So 144 times pi times an X. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have chose X. 3 over 360. That's what we want to find. Equals 100. We should be able to solve from there. So I'm just going to rearrange everything. So we're going to get 100 divided by 144 pi, bring that over, and then times by 360 is going to give us x, because I'm just sort of making x the subject. So 100 times 360 divided by 144 shift pi. The angle is 79.58. So x equals 79.58 degrees. Now that's 79.58, and you should know the circle theorem that the angle at the centre is twice the angle at the circumference. So we just need to divide that by 2. So 79.58 divided by 2 equals 39.8. To 3 significant figures. That's your 4 marks. And I'm going to go back to pink. Question 16. You've got 2 coordinates, the midpoint has these coordinates. Find the value of A and the value of B. Right. So you know the midpoint equals x1 plus x2 over 2 and y1 plus y2 over 2, correct? That's what we start off with. And you then substitute these numbers in. And we know this x coordinate equals A here. So we could say A is going to equal, we've got x1 minus 3 plus 47, so that's 44 divided by 2. So A is going to equal 22. Now B, we've got minus 19 for this coordinate here, because this is the midpoint. Minus 19 is going to equal 11 plus B over 2. So we just solved that. We've got minus 38 by multiplying both sides by 2 equals 11 plus B. Minus 11, so B equals minus 49. So use your thinking skills, and if you do that, there's so many questions that look a bit challenging, but you just got to think your way through it. Histograms. Okay, so have a read. 14 customers had to wait less than 10 minutes to be served. So this has to equal 14. So what do we need to remember? frequency density, frequency divided by the class width. That's the triangle. We apply that, and this is a doable question. So we can see that we have to answer less than 60 minutes, but let's just work out what the frequency density is. So can we see that's 14 squares? So we're just going to use 14 squares. And the width is 10. So we're going to do, and it's giving us the 14 customers as well. There's 14 here anyway. So the frequency is 14. So FD equals 14 divided by 10 equals 1.4. So that has to equal 1.4 here. So we can see that's 1 and that's 2. Okay. Wait, less than 60 minutes, so we need to work that out. So this is worth 14. This is 15. Now what number is this? That's 3. So that's 3.2, and you can see it's 15. So here we've got 15 times 3.2, which is going to equal 48. 48 customers in this bar. Let's draw an arrow. That's worth 5. That looks like it's 3.6. So 5 times 3.6 equals 18. That's 18 here. We've got 0.6. 0.6 times 10. The class width. So that box is worth 6. And this one is 20 times 0.2, which is 4. So that box there is worth 4. So let's do 14, add 48, add 18, add 6, add 4. And we should get, that's 10, add 64, 74, no 76, add 14, that's going to equal 90. Do use your calculator if required. That is another 3 marks in your pocket. Now I wonder how many marks have we got up to here. Is this our grade 8 now? Let's see. I believe this is 59 out of 80 up to here. All easily doable. That is your grade 8 class. Right, so let's have a look at this. This is question 18. The diagram shows a regular octagon. So regular octagon is all sides the same, all angles are the same. Find the area of the shaded region. Right, well what would help is to find one of these angles, right? So, octagon, let's first find the interior angles. So we can do, actually let's find the exterior, it's easier. So let's do 360 divided by 8 gives us the exterior angle, correct? Equals 45. So that means that straight line there is 45. So we know these interior angles are 135. Okay, perfect. I'm going to zoom into this. Right, so if that's 135, we've got a right angle here. So that bit here is 45. Okay, I think this is good. That's going to help. I'm zooming in too much. Work out the area of the shaded region. Right, so we need to somehow split this up to things that we can measure. Right, there's more than one way to do this, but I'm going to try and do it with a method that you know. So here is 10. Okay, so we've got this right angle triangle here that we can make to find this length here. Let's draw this to the side. That's 45. We know it's regular, so that must be 10. I'm just going to label that. That's the EF, and this is another point. That's the right angle. So if we find this point here, which is the adjacent, and we've got the hypotenuse here, this should work. And O. But we're going to ignore the O. That gives us this length. We get this length, then we get the width of H to E. So that is CH. Now we want to find A. So A equals cos 45 times 10. That's 5 root 2. So hopefully you can see here to here is 5 root 2, and that side must be 5 root 2, add the 10. So H to E must equal 5 root 2, add 5 root 2, add 10, which is 10 root 2, add 10. So far, can you see if I split this rectangle like this, so rectangle ADHE equals 10 times 10 root 2 plus 10. I'm going to leave it like that for now. Now, remember the area of this triangle is a half AB sine C, correct? So, if this is 135, draw 135. This is isosceles. So this angle here must be 22.5, because 22.5 on this side will make 45. That will make 180 in the triangle. So that's 22.5. This angle C here is 135 minus 22.5. Okay, so that is 112.5. So this area of this triangle ACD, area of ACD is going to be right, let me just draw this triangle out. We're doing this. CAD. Now it might be easier because can you see we've got this length, which is 10 root 2 plus 10, and we know this length here is 10. So actually I don't need to use this angle here. I can use, because we want sine C, so let's make sine C this angle here, so that we can make this A and B, if that makes sense. So imagine I'm just changing this to a half. If I'm letting that be A, that's little b, that is the sine D, so I could just call it half AB sine D in this case, and we know that that is 45, right, because that's 135. So we're going to get, that will be easier, because otherwise we'd have to find this length, which is just more working out, which we don't need to do. So we're going to get 0.5 times 10 times 10 root 2 plus 10 times sine 45. I hope this bit makes sense. So 0.5 times 10 times, put that in a bracket, 10 root 2 plus 10 times sine 45 equals 50 plus 25 root 2. Add these two up, so we're doing 10 root 2, add 10, add 50, add 25 root 2. I know this is a lot of calculations, so area of shaded. There's more than one way to do this as well, guys, but I think this way will be good for you, because you've got the skills to do this, I believe, doing it this way. Plus 50 plus 25 root 2, that equals 326.78 equals 326.78. It does say to the nearest centimetre squared, so you could have rounded these numbers up earlier if you wanted to, so that equals 327. This has got to be worth 4 or 5 marks, hopefully. 6 marks! So you can see all that method marks to be gained. Ooh. Right, I'm showing you here that another way you could have done this is to work out the area of isosceles triangle. Octagon is 8 isosceles triangles. Work out the area of the whole octagon and subtract the trapezium and this shape here. That's another way, but I think this way will get you some effing marks at least, even if you don't quite will get there, and you can do that. You've got to just try to split that shape into things that you know that you can use to work out. Okay. Oh, I want this video less than an hour long. But right, get that right and one more, and that's your grade 9 anyway, girls, right? So those of you pushing for that grade 9, if you really want it, but it might not be advisable because you've got so many subjects to prioritise, you can see that getting this question will make you hit that 9. This is bounds, and you're very good at bounds. Work out the upper bound of the shaded region. Right. The upper bound of the shaded region is going to be the upper bound of this whole area, A, B, C, D. Let's write that down. So we want the upper bound of the area of A, B, C, D. We want that upper bound minus the lower bound of this, minus the lower bound of the area of E, F, G, H. That will give us that. So upper bound of AD is going to be 8.35, and AD, well, we don't need AD lower bound, but I was going to write it out for practice. And good form, 8.25. DC is 7.25. Upper bound, lower bound DC is 7.15. Now E to H is going to be 6.15 lower bound, that's EH, and HG 5.3, so that's 5.25 lower bound. So we've got AD and DC, so that's all we need, upper bound times upper bound. So we're going to do 8.35 times 7.25 equals 8.35 times 7.25, 60.5375, 60.5375. That's upper bound of area ABCD. Now we want the lower bound of EH. So let's do lower bound of EFGH, which is going to be our lower bounds, 5.25 times 6.15. That's 32.2875. 32.2875. We're going to subtract those numbers. And that should be close to our grade 9 now. Equals 28.25, and it's centimetres squared. That's another 3 marks and easily doable. Question 20. Right, there's 2 points, P and Q. So essentially minus 1, 6, minus 1, 6. So imagine minus 1, 6 is over here, and we've got 5 minus 4 here. So that's minus 1, 6, 5 minus 4. Just to help you visualise, that's P, that's Q. So that's going to make a line, and they want the equation of this line here, the perpendicular bisector, which is halfway. So first thing you do is find the midpoint. So that's minus 1 plus 5 divided by 2, and minus 4 plus 6 divided by 2. Be careful with your negative numbers. That's 4 over 2, so that midpoint is going to be 2. Minus 4 adds 6, that's 2. So 2 divided by 2. So that midpoint is 2, 1. This point here is 2, 1. Next method mark, find the gradient. Gradient of PQ, which is the change in y over x. So change in y divided by the change in x. So y, can you see 6 minus minus 4, the distance here is 10 and the difference of x is 6. It's going downhill, so that is negative. So that's minus 5 over 3. So I'm going to say m1 equals minus 5 over 3. So m2 must equal 3 over 5. Because you remember m1 times m2, that's equal minus 1 to make it perpendicular. So when we have our m2, we're almost done. We just use a y equals mx plus c. So y equals mx plus c. So we have y equals 3 over 5 x plus c. We've got the point that goes through 2, 1. So that's 1 equals 6 over 5 plus c, which was going to make us c equals minus 1 over 5. So we're going to get y equals 3 over 5x minus 1 over 5. Now I'm pretty sure it's just to do it in this form. Easily done. Let's just multiply everything by 5 because they're all integers. This is a, b and c are integers, whole numbers. So times both sides by 5, we're going to get 5y equals 3x minus 1. Let's bring it all over. So we're going to get 5y minus 3x plus 1 equals 0. Now, that should be fine. That is another 6 marks. Yeah, that's grade 9 in the bag, guys. Grade 9 in the bag. Right, the video is over an hour now, so I'm going to try and do this quickly, but I do want to go over this because these types of questions do come up a lot. You would have seen them in the past if you've gone through past papers. So in a bag there are only 3 blue beads, 4 white beads and X orange beads. She's going to take at random 2 beads from the bag, so she doesn't put them back. The probability that Jean will take 2 beads of the same colour is 3 over 8. Find the total number of beads in the bag, show clear algebraic working. So 2 beads of the same colour. Right, so essentially total beads is going to be 3 plus 4 plus the X orange bead. So that's going to be 7 plus X. Okay, so the probability of taking BB, 2 blues, is going to be 3 over 7 plus X times, there's 1 less blue, so that's going to be 2, and there's 1 less bead in the whole thing, 6 plus X. Okay, that's 1. PWW is going to be 4 over 7 plus X times 3 over 6 plus X. Right, let's simplify that out first. So that's going to be 12. I'm going to keep that in the bracket for now. I'm going to write it this way. So it's going to be easier to expand for later. X plus 7, X plus 6. Okay. And then P orange is going to be X over 7 plus X. Remember, we can't cancel out X's here like that. We do not do that. Times X minus 1, 6 plus X. So we're going to get x minus 1, x plus 7, x plus 6. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Two b's are the same colour, so the probability same colour is going to be all these three added together. So we're going to get 6 add 12. All the denominators are the same. So we're going to get 6 add 12 add, should I expand that now? I'm just going to leave it like this, x minus 1 all over x plus 7, x plus 6. Now we know that equals 3 over 8. Okay, so what can we do? We can multiply out by x plus 7, x plus 6. So what we're going to get is 6 add 12 is 18. Let's simplify that. Add, I'm just going to expand that now. X squared minus x is going to equal 3x plus 7, x plus 6 all over 8. We're going to multiply out by 8. 8 times 18, 80. Add 64, 144. So we're multiplying out by 8, 144 plus 8x squared minus 8x equals 3 times. We're going to need to expand this out. I'm just going to expand it out first, so that's going to be x squared plus 13, x plus 42. Okay. Now let's expand it all out. We're going to get 144 plus 8x squared minus 8x equals 3x squared plus 39x plus 126. Right, we're going to subtract everything and rearrange it so we get left, turn one side to 0. So 3x squared minus 8x squared is going to give us 5x squared. Right, 126 minus 126 minus 144 is going to give us, actually let's do the x's first. Minus 8x minus 39x is going to give us minus minus 8 minus 49, yeah, that's going to give us minus 47x. Got to be careful there. And 144 minus 126 is going to be plus 18. Okay, so do rearrange it to get this, that should be correct. So you could factorise this or use the quadratic formula, whatever way you prefer. I know it's going to be 5x here. There's going to be an x here, plus 9 and 2, 9. It's got to be 9. So you can do this by inspection. 5 times minus 9 is going to give us minus 45. Minus the extra 2 is going to give us the minus 47x, and that's going to give us the minus 18 equals 0. So you've got x equals possibly 2.5 here, or x equals 9. X got to be whole number. So the answer is 9. Let's see what the question is asking us. Find a total number of beads in the bag. Yeah, so there's 9 beads in the bag, it's only 2 orange beads. And that is done. Lots of method marks to be gained here, and we're finished. And you know, the paper's nice. This paper's a nice one. You with your skills you can get a grade 9 on this if you revise and can apply all those skills that I've taught you up to now. Well done.